On this very special day, we celebrate the accomplishments of our students who have received degrees and certificates. And you all look amazing, if a bit warm. After today's ceremony, you will be graduates of Queensborough, officially. This year, over 2,000 students will graduate from Queensborough. Some will go on to university study at one of our outstanding CUNY sister schools: Queens, Baruch, York, Hunter, John Jay, City, Lehman, New York City Tech, College of Staten Island, and Brooklyn. Some of you will study at the SUNY colleges at Albany, Stony Brook, and Binghamton. And some of our graduates will attend a private college, including St. John's, Columbia, NYU, Georgetown, Syracuse, Boston University, Cornell, and Amherst. Some of you will graduate from rigorous career programs which have prepared you to work in the health, business, and technology fields. You came to Queensborough from all parts of the world, representing over 139 countries of birth with 87 native languages represented. Each of you has a personal story of courage, determination, and sacrifice to achieve the dream of a better life for you and your families through education. And all of us salute your accomplishments. As graduates, you leave with knowledge, new and advanced skills, and most of all with personal values developed through the journey which took you to this special day. Your experiences inside and outside of the classroom have changed you. Interactions with one another, with strangers who became friends, and with faculty and staff who became mentors, all influenced your lives. Now you will apply your knowledge, skills, and most of all, the values you hold to better your life and that of others. This is your day, and many important people have come to bring greetings. I'd like to welcome the senior senator from the state of New York, Charles Schumer.
Thank you. And first, I want to congratulate President Diane Bovacol on being installed and urge her and know that she will continue in the great tradition of making Queensborough one of the finest community colleges, not just in our state, but in our country. Second, it's my honor to address the members of the dais, the friends and family of the graduates, but most of all, you, the class of 2013 Queensborough. First, I'd like to announce my class gift.
I don't think I can do it.
As you know, it's hard to pay for college, and if you're poor, the federal government helps you out. That's a good thing. But what about the middle class? So I wrote a law, it's on the books, that says you or your parents, whoever paid for college, can take as a full tax credit $2,500 off your federal taxes without the cost of tuition, provided, there's always a provided your family income is below $200,000 a year. So for those of you who come from families who make below $200,000, make sure you or mom or dad, whoever paid for Queensborough, takes that tax credit. Actually, last year, a third of all the people who were entitled didn't do it. If you forgot to do it in previous years, You can actually file a form with the IRS and get up to $7,500 back. Pretty good class gift. Now what about if you come from a family that makes above $200,000 a year? God bless you. One word to the moms and dads. I just want to say to you, I know how you feel, because a few years ago, my wife and Iris and I sat where you did and watched our daughter come up on the platform and get her diploma, and it was one of the greatest days of our lives. We saw our daughter become an adult before our very eyes, and you will too. So to the moms and dads, congratulations. Job well done. To this great class, Queensboro, 2013, you're graduating with two great advantages. First, you're getting a great education. About 2/3 of all of your peer group in America don't get any college degree. And your college degree is a lot better than most. So that gives you one advantage. And your second advantage is you're the first generation to grow up amidst all this new technology. In 1988, a few years before most of you were born, was the first year the word internet was ever used. There was no Facebook and no text messaging and no email and no cell phone and no LOL. In 1994, the year probably many of you were born, there were 12 websites on the World Wide Web. That's it, 12. Now there are 14 billion. So that shows you how quick technology is changing our world. You know, your parents, your teachers, me, the older generation, we try to get used to this technology, but it's hard for us. We're learning it as adults. But you were born into it. Technology is to your generation as water is to a fish. You've been swimming in it your whole lives. And so the fact that you've gotten a great education at Queensboro, and the fact that you've been the first generation to grow up amidst all this technology means this. It means now is the time to figure out what your dream is, reach high for it, even if it seems hard to get to. Then reach deep down inside yourself, see what you're made of, see if you can achieve that dream. My advice to the class of 2013 is very simple. Go for it. Now sometimes you'll make the wrong choice, but if my experience is any indication, you'll pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move forward. But if you make the right choice, with a lot of hard work, a little luck, and some prayer, your life will be enriched forever. Now I learned these things myself. When I was seated at graduation, as you are today, but it was 40 years ago, I learned that I had won a scholarship to travel all around the world, all expenses paid, for a whole year. For me, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. I had never been out of the country before. But at the same time, I met a girl, and I fell in love. I had to decide. Do I go around the world on the all-expense-paid scholarship for a year? Yes. Or do I stay home with the girl? No. I should have listened to you. I stayed home with the girl. The story continues.
You went around
that summer, she went on a brief vacation, and I went to the airport to meet her on her return. As soon as she got off the plane, I saw by the look on her face something was wrong.
Oh no.
She dumped me by Labor Day. There I was, no scholarship, no trip around the world, no girl. I said to myself, what a loser you are. You're never going to make anything of yourself. And I stayed in my house for months, moped around, felt bad for myself. But somehow I picked myself up, dusted myself off, and moved forward. And a few years later, I found myself seated at graduation once again, this time from law school. But on the way home from law school, I told Mom and Dad I wasn't going to join the fancy law firm like we had planned. I told them my dream was politics. I wanted to run for office, even though the chances of winning seemed very remote. My parents were shocked. My mother was particularly disappointed. You see, My family struggled to send me to college and law school. My father was an exterminator, never had much of an education or much money. And the law firm was paying $400 a week. That was more money than my family had ever seen in those days. But my dream was to run for office, and so against very long odds, that fall, at the age of 23, I ran for the New York State Assembly, and I had 3 opponents. There was the party machine candidate, there was a neighborhood activist, and then there was my mother, who was telling all her friends not to vote for me.
Oh, wow.
So as she said, I get this dumb idea of being a politician out of my big thick head. Well, graduates, a few years earlier, I didn't get that girl, but that November, I won the election. Class, Queensboro, 2013, go for it. And when you have doubts, and we all have doubts at every stage of our lives, that's the human condition, that's how God made each and every one of us, maybe you'll remember a few lines from this poem by Rudyard Kipling called If. He wrote it to his son over 130 years ago, but it's relevant to every son and every daughter of this great class, Queensboro 2013. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings, and risk it on a turn, pitch, and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will, which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings but not lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, will be a man, my son. He wrote it to his son 130 years ago. It's relevant to every son and every daughter this morning, to this great class. Queensboro 2013. Congratulations.